So Canon's coming out with a new camera. Sony's coming out with a new camera. I don't know. Why do I do this to myself? Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And today I wanted to do a little vent/rant. And as we all know, Canon is making an announcement here soon on the 9th of this month, which is July, of course. Sony is apparently waiting for them to make their announcement before they come out with hopefully what is the A7S III or the A7 IV. And I'm torn. I'm conflicted. As an EOS R user, I really thought about getting the EOS R6, not the R5, because I think the R6 is going to be a more viable option. But I'm kind of leaning towards not getting either one at this point. And I have a different camera in mind. So I want to tell you about that camera, why I think it's an awesome camera. It is a sleeping giant, and a lot of people don't even really talk about it anymore. But first, I need that intro, baby.
I'ma go be small, yeah. Kick it both feet though, yeah. I got veto, yeah. Blood like seafall, yeah. Good law, sweet law, yeah. Cape like hero, yeah. Double them zeros, yeah. Double them zeros, yeah, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Neil here. And today I'm talking about what camera I'm possibly going to get and why I'm not getting a Canon, the new Canon, or the new Sony that's coming out, I guess, this month, later this month, or at least announced that is. So you may be wondering to yourself, well, who cares? Who cares what you get? Who cares what you use? Because I feel like I should share this with you from my perspective, because there may be some of you that feel the same way. Maybe you're happy with what you have. Maybe you have the EOS R. Maybe you have the Sony A7 III. Maybe you have something completely different, but maybe some of you are wanting to get the R5 or the R6 when it comes to Canon and whatever Sony decides that they want to release. So currently I am shooting with an EOS R. I was a Fuji X-T3 user, and I thought about something. I was like, man, I should have kept my X-T3, because now that I have the Ninja 5, which I record all my videos on, it accepts 4K 60.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Well, guess what? The EOS R doesn't, and even if I had the Sony A7 III, it does not as well. 4K 30 is the maximum supported resolution and frame rate. So I thought to myself, well, maybe you want an X-T4. It has 4K 60. It has 10-bit internal recording, mind you, 420. It now has IBIS. It has a bigger battery, and I absolutely loved the footage using the Eterna profile out of the X-T3. I shot a full wedding using only that profile, which I'll insert some of that footage here, and I absolutely love the video footage. And since I've been back on YouTube for about a month now, the first few videos were shot with the X-T3 only. But now, of course, I'm shooting with the EOS R, which I love. It's a nice camera. It's a good hybrid. I don't appreciate the crop, but I am using that with the Ninja 5, and I'm still happy with the video. But instead of going back to Fuji, because I did have some, issues with Fuji as far as the functionality, the efficiencies of being able to use it for like a run and gun setup, it would be nice to have it, the X-T3, maybe even the X-T4 back. But I'm thinking, for a price value to dollar, there is a camera on the market that is better than the EOS R, better than the Fuji X-T3 and X-T4 in my opinion, and better than the Sony A7 III, all of which cameras I have used thoroughly. And while they all are good cameras, there's one camera in particular. Now, there's a video that I'm putting out with a friend of mine named Jimmy, who runs a production company, who has this camera and another camera. The camera that I'm speaking of is the Panasonic S1. First of all, currently I can get that camera for around $1,800. The Fuji X-T4 costs $1,700. The Sony A7 III still costs around $1,800. And we're thinking the R5 is going to be around what, $3,800 to $4,000. The R6 is $2,500 to $2,600. So here's my thinking on it. If I can buy an S1 for around $1,800, Sigma Art, which I think are fantastic lenses, making them for Canon and also making them for Nikon and Sony, Their lenses for the L mount, I think, are a little bit cheaper. Maybe not by a lot, but from what I've compared between the Sony version, Canon version, which is dated and it wasn't for full frame, but the L mount Sigma lenses are really nice. Like you can get a 35 millimeter 1.4, which is a gorgeous and it renders tack sharp images lens for about $699. So I'm thinking to myself, well, you can wait and buy an R5 for $2,500, or you can go ahead and spend $700 on a lens, and the body itself is $1,800 and be around the same ballpark. So that's my logic in thinking, because the S1 is a great camera. Reason being, in case you don't know about it, 4K 60, 10-bit 422 internally, codecs out the wazoo. You hear me? Wazoo. It's a really nice camera, and I'll insert some of that footage here of the comparison video that you will be seeing soon here on the channel between the S1 and the S1H, which my friend again has both of those cameras. He absolutely loves them. So essentially what the S1 is the GH5 on steroids. Well, no, that's the S1H. The S1 is the G9 on steroids. In any event, the intro clips that you see here on this channel before my videos actually start, that footage was from an S1 shot in 4K only. What I love about the S1, just playing around with it a little bit, is the variable frame rates, the resolutions, the codecs, the 10-bit 422 internal. So while we're sitting here waiting on Canon to come out with an R5 or an R6 or whatever specs they're supposed to be, or Sony for that matter, I know with the S1, the functionality and the limits that it can go. You know, such as unlimited record time. It is not capped by that 30 minutes. It does have a plethora of lenses, so you don't have to necessarily use the Panasonic L mount lenses. Sigma makes them, and they have a lot of different lenses to choose from. Also, you get 4K 30 up to 30 frames per second uncropped. That's one thing I don't like about the EOS R. And the reason why I'm not going back to Fuji, why? It's an APS-C. I want to stick to full frame mirrorless. Also, you get different type of media types, MOV, MPEG-4, and with the S1 you can actually shoot 6K through basically sort of like their version of Motion JPEG, which we know was on the Canon 1DX Mark II. That's still a really nice looking image, and the reason why, if I wanted to shoot on 6K or in 6K for that matter, that will give me the cleanest image possible if I downsample it to 4K. So features out the wazoo, battery life is excellent, and as soon as I get my hands on the camera that I've ordered, I'm definitely going to do a thorough review of it and put it against the EOS R. I know a friend that has the Sony A7 III, and yes, I know I'm talking about old cameras that have been out for close to 2 years now. But I think bang for buck, and you'll see why in the video that I will be releasing, the S1 is a viable option in 2020, and more than a viable option. I think it's a great option. Again, 4K 60, and you do have a little crop on it, but it's not as much as the crop that's on the EOS R. You do get 4K 30 uncropped, tons of codecs, media, 422, 10-bit, great battery life, nice articulating screen. I mean, it's a nice beefy camera, and I've absolutely fell in love with it from being able to use it and get some test footage on it. So that's kind of my dilemma at this point, but it's really not a dilemma anymore. I think I've pretty much made up my mind. Now, I will keep the EOS R as a video camera here for the studio, and then also to take pictures with for any of my type of photo shoots and stuff like that. And here's the thing, no other reason besides I do have lenses and I'm vested into, you know, the Canon lenses, the EF glass mostly. I don't own any RF glass. But even with the S1, it has a super high resolution mode of 96 megapixels, and that is really, really, really stupid sharp and stupid nice. I mean, so a lot of people don't think Panasonic photo. Honestly, it takes great photos. It's great for photo, and then we all know it's great for video. Now, we all know Panasonic is known for their IBIS. That too is what I really like. I think it's unmatched, you know, and no one can beat them in the IBIS market. Now, autofocus is a different story, but I think a lot of folks need to stop being so lazy when it comes to autofocusing and expecting your camera to do everything for you. It's okay to manual focus. I think it makes you a better photographer, and a videographer, and you compose your shot better, you're able to drill your shot better, and besides that, you have tack sharp focus. So the manual focus doesn't bother me, the autofocus not being so good doesn't bother me. What I do love is all the features that I mentioned before, and the IBIS is on top of the video quality that you get out of the S1. So that's it, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to do a little rant. I am going to buy the S1. Actually, it's already bought, it's already ordered. And the first lens I'm starting off with is the 35mm Sigma Art 1.4, and then I'm going to get the 24-70, and these are actually in L mount. I was surprised that they're so affordable, which I guess, you know, by $100 or so, they're around the same as any other mount version. But I think I want to get that camera for sure and test it out here on the channel. Maybe not so much as photography, but I will throw that in there a little bit because I'll still use the EOS R for photography since I have lenses already for it. And then also, I will do most of my video, I think, with the S1 and the Ninja 5 because I am getting more so into wedding films. So I think having that and having a more robust full frame option that will allow me to do 4K 60 to my Ninja 5, so I can just shoot everything to it and I don't have to segment it onto the, you know, card, and I have the same resolution, the same frame rate. So if I decide I want to slow it down, then I can do that, and that's the reason why I think I want to go with the S1. Another quick kind of update, if you will, something to look forward to besides the showdown of the Panasonic S1 and S1H. I just got this bad boy in. This is the Tokina Opera flagship lens, 50mm 1.4 for Canon EF, and of course I'm going to adapt it to my EOS R. But this is a really nice beefy lens that I'm going to go ahead and do a review on and do some images so you guys can see what this looks like. Tokina was nice enough to send this out to me, so over the next few weeks I'm going to be showing off this lens quite a bit. But this just a little update about, you know, some videos that are coming up, and I guess this was an update in itself as well. So look forward to those videos, and hopefully if you like the content that you've seen here before, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. It goes a long way. And if you liked this video and my little tangent, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it and you didn't care, give it a thumbs down twice. All right, everyone, thank you for coming back. I greatly appreciate it more than you know. And until the next video, hasta luego.
I love you.